Yesterday, while marching in Poland with thousands of people and survivors for an annual observance at the former site of Auschwitz, Poland's president denounced Russia's invasion and brutality, saying this, quote, "We are here to show that every nation has a sacred right to life, a sacred right to cultivate its traditions, a sacred right to develop." Poland has already welcomed almost 3 million Ukrainian refugees. Poland has provided many of them with free education and health care, roofs over their heads, places to live. Its people have welcomed them with open arms, for the most part, into their homes. 300,000 of them are in Warsaw, where the population has risen 15%. The mayor warns that the city is at capacity and needs funding as it braces for and wants to help more displaced Ukrainians seeking refuge. We are joined now by the mayor of Warsaw, Poland, Rafał Trzaskowski, and Dr. Erwin Redlener, a good friend of our show, a pediatrician and founding director of the National Center for Disaster Preparedness at Columbia University. He's just back from Poland, where he met you and he met with Ukrainian refugees, and you texted me and called me, and I said, bring them with you. And I know this trip has a lot more to do with it than coming to talk to us. But I just want to know what it's like right now for you, for your city, for the residents of Warsaw, and for the Ukrainians who now call it home.
Well, the solidarity of the Polish people is just incredible. We've welcomed 300,000 people in our homes, and people who visit Warsaw are amazed because there are no big refugee camps, no pitch tents in our parks or people in the streets. Our Ukrainian brothers and sisters are with us.
How much pain and trauma are the kids dealing with?
It's incredible because the more kids come, I mean, of course, the more traumatized they are because now they come from the east, they escape bombs, sometimes they've lost family members. They've seen atrocities unimaginable for us. So, of course, they need counseling, they need help. That's what we are doing. Sometimes, you know, we're bringing actors just to bring a smile on their faces. We distribute candy, and sometimes we can get that smile, but of course, it's just for a while. So this is a challenge for us all because they are traumatized. But to tell you the truth, we are also traumatized when we see that.
What do you need?
We need assistance, we need help. The most important thing is that the whole world needs to step up. You know, we are doing a lot, and of course, it's the Ukrainians who are fighting. They're fighting for our freedom as well. They are fighting for the stability of transatlantic reliance. And guess what? All the dictators in the world, all the thugs and bullies are watching. And they see the united response of the West. And we need to keep on doing that. We need to share that responsibility. Because that response needs to be as it is, unequivocal. But of course, we also need assistance because we cannot do it alone, and we need a relocation scheme in Europe. We need money, and not only to go to the central government, but also to the refugees themselves, to non-governmental organizations, and to us, because we're on the front line.
Do you ever let yourself contemplate the war widening to your city?
Well, I always say that if President Zelensky doesn't panic, we are not going to panic either. And of course, the words of the President of the United States, Joe Biden, were so important that every inch of NATO territory will be defended. And I was in Washington. I've talked to the members of Joe Biden's administration, Samantha Power and Secretary Buttigieg, who's probably going to be one of the responsible guys for the infrastructure projects and for the reconstruction of Ukraine. I've talked to Nancy Pelosi. I've talked to both the Republicans in the House and the Democrats in the House. And all of them tell me that, you know, the security guarantees are ironclad. And if you go to the east of Poland, to Rzeszów, you see the 82nd Airborne, you see American soldiers everywhere, you see the Patriots. And this is important because we are sending a signal that we are together, that we are united, and that we are strong. And Putin only understands strength. So this is really important.
It's one of the few things, I mean, Dr. Redlener could tell you this, not even a pandemic united the right and the left in this country, but support for Ukraine and for people helping Ukraine is one of the few things that has in recent history. You are so knowledgeable about crisis and disaster, and especially children and its impact. And you were so moved, I know, by your trip. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so Karen and I went to Poland basically because we were really interested to see how the refugee, especially children, were being greeted and cared for and nurtured in this new country that they went to incredibly suddenly. This was not only the largest, but the fastest refugee movement since World War II, as you well know, Nicole. And so we went to see, and we were very, very moved. Now, I'll tell you, the 5 hours that we spent in Warsaw High School #1 was among the more impactful experiences I've had in my life. I mean, we were looking and talking to these children, sometimes through an interpreter, sometimes directly. But in terms of trauma, I mean, the principal of the school, the headmaster, started crying, telling me about some of the things that he's seen in the kids that have come there. One of them, I'll just tell you about. Please. I don't even like talking about it, but it was a child who was almost catatonic, a 15-year-old girl. Bombing started by the Russians on her apartment building near Mariupol, and her mother woke up the kids. Father was a fighter. Woke up the kids, threw them in the car with a few things that she could grab, and in a small caravan of her neighbors and friends left the area. The car directly in front of her was hit by a missile and destroyed, with children who were friends with their kids. You know, that girl is going to need a lot of support. On the other hand, a lot of the children that are there these kids are incredibly resilient also. And with the support they're getting from the mayor and his agencies and the NGOs there, I'm actually hopeful that they're going to get through this. A lot of the kids want to go back to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Don't want to go back. Their mothers want to go back to Ukraine. They're saying, we can't go back. We're going to learn Polish and we want to stay here in Warsaw.
I think a lot of people want help and they don't know how to. I mean, what can people do? Ordinary people.
Yeah, most importantly, help the non-governmental organizations that are on the ground, that are fighting with poverty, that are helping refugees, that are fighting with children trafficking, that they are doing counseling to those kids. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I have a 17-year-old daughter in Warsaw schools and a 13-year-old son. And you know, in their class, there are 5 Ukrainians in my daughter's class and 6 Ukrainians in my son's class. And the thing is that, you know, sometimes they seem normal, smiling and talking, and suddenly they break down into tears.
Yeah.
And this is very difficult to deal with that. And I have to tell you that after 2 years of COVID, and after a vicious attack of the populist government on the LGBT community, we have a lot of traumatized kids in our schools, Polish kids. And most of my counselors now work with refugees. We need help. We cannot do it indefinitely. And of course, the solidarity of the Polish people is incredible. But if we want to keep it up, we need assistance, because the city services need to function normally.
Right.
I cannot have, you know, all of my people work on refugees all the time. We are going to do everything we can to help, regardless of the numbers. But my job as a mayor of the city is to make sure that we take care of refugees, but also that the city functions normally so that we can help them for as long as it's needed.
How many, tell me again how much your population has grown? Because I'm just trying to think in the city if we grew by that much. So you're
by 15%. Imagine as if 1.5 million suddenly entered New York in a month.
4 weeks, yeah.
In a month, yes. It's just you know, amazing.
Like at the train station, came off train, every train came off.
And you see, you know, I mean, of course it is heartening, because I see my neighbors, and usually they have 2 kids, suddenly they have 4, and they go to the playground and they start, you know, communicating this pidgin Russian Ukrainian, because of course, you know, Polish is close to Ukrainian, but still, if you do not speak it, you do not understand most of it. And it's incredibly heartening. And of course, it also builds a better relationship in between our nations. But the thing is that this is long term. This is not just for a week or 2. I mean, many of those people will stay. And, you know, we in Warsaw know what it means, because Warsaw was destined to be destroyed by Hitler. So we know what it means when a dictator wants your city to be razed to the ground. So when we see Mariupol, when we see Kharkiv, you know, we immediately think about Warsaw, which was 90% destroyed, and now it's a vibrant and dynamic city. That's why we are helping, and that's why we are also sending this message of hope that as Warsaw rose like a phoenix from ashes, Mariupol and Kharkiv will as well, provided that the whole world helps. And of course, now everyone is looking at Ukraine, but what I'm afraid of that in a month or 2, you know, people will move on. And we need to keep on helping, and we need to step up, because this responsibility needs to be shared.